I don't get where this hate and this discern for Nikola Jokic comes from. The guy has now won back-to-back MVPs, and he's the clear front runner to win a third MVP. Why do you say that? Nuggets are, what are they? Number one seed in the
Number one
Western
seed.
Conference.
Yep.
And then you see him averaging a triple-double, which is insane for a big man to be getting consistently 10 assists a night. And then you have someone like Kendrick Perkins come out here and say Nikola Jokic is nothing but a stat chaser. The guy will go nights where he's fine just scoring 9 points. But when he knows his team needs extra points, he'll go out there and get that 40-point triple-double. And then what stat chaser is out there just being fine with scoring 6 to 15 points as long as his team wins? And then he will have games where he'll have 20 rebounds and 20 assists and 15 points, where it's like Nikola Jokic is the perfect person where whatever the team needs to do to win, he'll do it. And then he kind of has some LeBron in him, where I don't think he's really that killer closer, and it'll definitely help having Jamal Murray back, but he makes everyone around him better. You see Jamal Murray come back. Jamal Murray was getting 50 points. Jokic, he's completely fine with someone else getting the credit. You want to talk about the number one guy? This is what LeBron was really good at, getting people wide open corner threes. Nikola Jokic generates the best quality three-point shots in the league and the most open corner threes. That's really important when you have a tall shooter like Michael Porter. And then Aaron Gordon's gotten better since they've gone there. And then Luka, Tatum, and Giannis were all playing to a certain level, and they were even with Jokic. Now Jokic has taken his game to another level, and he's kicked it into a higher gear towards the end of the season. So I think he should be the MVP and the back-to-back-to-back MVP. And I don't even think it's a race thing, because Kendrick Perkins came out here and he tried to make this a race thing, where I feel like that's kind of inappropriate for this situation, especially when you're the best player on the best team in the league, and then your stats are a big man averaging a triple-double, and they're still better than everyone else's. So it's like, I don't understand why he doesn't deserve to win a third MVP. It's like, no matter how good people try and make Joel Embiid out, and they always try and say that he's better than Jokic, Jokic just goes out there and plugs along and keeps winning.
Yes, and for Kendrick Perkins, for him saying that he's a stat patter, look at the advanced analytics. I mean, if you're going to call somebody a stat patter, you can throw it at Russ if you want to. I think as much as Russ's triple-double, him averaging it over 3 seasons is extremely impressive, and he deserves to be a Hall of Famer, and I have nothing to say bad about Russ. His numbers compared to Nikola Jokic triple-double, he's one of the most efficient players in the NBA. I mean,
right.
I compare him to the early LeBron, when he had not a lot of players around him. Yes, he's got Michael Porter. Yes, he's got Aaron Gordon. Yes, Jamal Murray's coming back, and he's got some pieces around him. But we're talking about a real, Luka's got Kyrie, and Tatum's got Brown, and LeBron's got AD. All these guys have a second option. No, he doesn't have anybody around him that's in the top 25 conversation whatsoever. Yeah. And despite that, they're on pace to win 63 games. They're still on pace to be the 1 seed. They made it to the Western Conference Finals, and back-to-back-to-back MVPs. It's not that he didn't win the MVP because he didn't deserve it. Yeah. Each time he's put up great seasons, and it's not that we have a great MVP conversation this year. We really do. We got Luka, who's in the conversation. We got Tatum. We got Giannis still. Yeah. We got
Embiid is still out there.
Embiid's been playing great as well. So it's like,
Dame,
if he wins this, he deserves it, because he's played better than all of these guys. He's the number 1 team in the Western Conference, which is at this point loaded. Let's be honest. At this point, I think it's more loaded than the Eastern Conference. At this,
I feel like the East is more top heavy, but the West is just a bunch of solid teams right now. I feel like the Suns, there's not a ton of scary teams in the West.
Well, I think there's a lot of teams in the West that could make it to the finals.
For sure.
Where in the Eastern Conference, I think it's like the Bucks, the Celtics, and maybe the Sixers. Maybe.
No shot.
The Sixers have a chance. They have a good team.
Joel Embiid get tired versus the Hawks. I don't want to
They have a good team. That's my point, is they have a good team.
They have a good team.
Compared to the Western Conference, where there's 7 or 8 teams that are really good. You got the Kings, you got the Nuggets, you got the Mavericks, you got the Nuggets, you got
Warriors are still out there.
Warriors are always going to be in it. The Kings are really good this year, and they've continued to be good. So I think putting race into it, I think it's delegitimizing Jokic's greatness. Because if he
Yeah.
wins back to back to back MVPs, first of all, 3 MVPs, I think he's automatically in an all-time great conversation.
Yeah.
And he's still got a lot of career left. So he can still win a championship. Maybe he stays in Denver and wins it there, which we saw what happened with Giannis when he won it in Milwaukee, how much it meant. When
Yeah.
LeBron came back to Cleveland and he won it in Cleveland, how much it means to win it with your city. And I think if he can do that in Denver, make a statue for him.
Yeah, it'd be sick, but I just want to contextualize it where people will keep asking, when is Jokic going to make that jump? Why hasn't he won a championship yet? You can't knock the guy who he's never played with an NBA All-Star in his life. Even Paul George with the Pacers won with David West, who I believe had been an All-Star. And then he had a few All-Star players on that team. And then you look at LeBron is playing with Kevin